So we're talking about meditation, and there are thousands of different kinds of meditation. We're looking at this book called Awakenings, a Sufi Experience by Pir Vilayat Inayat Khan. This piece is called Awakening in Life. As awakening in life, as transcendently blissful and peaceful as a state of samadhi may be, however, awakening beyond life can never be the final goal of spiritual practice. It has to be followed by awakening in life. This means seeing life through the eyes of God, the universe, casting the light of your realization upon the intractable problems and emotional sufferings of a human being on planet Earth. By realization, I mean the knowledge and innate wisdom that is already written into what is called your soul, but which has been obscured by your reliance on circumstances in the outer world. It is the difference between what the Sufis describe as acquired knowledge and revealed knowledge. So to continue with the previous concentration, inhaling up along the chakras, then holding the breath, suspended in a state of pure intelligence and all-pervading awareness. Exhale out through your eyes the light of realization that you experienced in these states of higher consciousness. Poetically captured in the phrase of the Quran, a light upon light. The experience of casting the light of the divine through the beams of the glance radically transforms your previous perspective. Whereas before you may have seen only meaninglessness and unnecessary suffering in life's chaos and confusion, now you are able to grasp the underlying purposefulness that has thus far eluded you. At first, this experience confers upon your consciousness a grand overview, like flying in a helicopter over a city. Those dervishes observing life from this height say that God has granted each human being a measure of his own freedom at the risk of the misuse of this freedom. Yet you also perceive the intention behind circumstances going awry. The universe is dynamic and evolving rather than a puppet show, where all events are predetermined. So that's not how the universe is. From this perspective, it becomes apparent that it is by learning through countless mistakes and wrong turns that individuals fulfill the divine purpose for which they were born, thereby contributing to the ever-evolving destiny of all humankind. Thus, as you cast your intelligence through your glance, you penetrate deeply into the nature of this mystery. As you cast your intelligence through your eyes, you penetrate deeply into the nature of this mystery. It is as if there were a lot of puzzle pieces strewn about, and suddenly things fall into place. It is through the insight conferred upon you by your spiritual realization that you are able to see the difference between those relationships and activities in everyday life that bring you in harmony with the universe, and those things that cause you to fall out of step. And that is why it is important to bring those insights gained from awakening beyond life into everyday life. The best analogy is about the process of awakening in the life is to imagine that you have gone to see a magnificent piece of architecture, a marvelous building that is absolutely enchanting. Then you visit the architect who drew up the plans for this building and therefore knew exactly what he had in mind for its purpose. Imagine that this architect shows you his drawings and then takes you on a tour of the building, explaining why the building was constructed the way that it was. That is what I mean by awakening in life. Seeing the programming, the intent that the universe had in mind. Working with the third eye can help you to overcome the powerful pull of the conditioning of the surrounding environment. In addition, however, your spiritual insight can be strengthened through concentrations involving the third eye. Before beginning this technique, it is important to remember that you should never work with the third eye as a way of projecting or intensifying your personal gaze to influence, hypnotize, or exercise power over people. That would be ego. One way to guard against this pitfall is to observe the sacredness of your glance so that it may in no way be inquisitive or personal or judgmental. One may use one's third eye only if one's glance has become totally purified, as if bathed in heavenly light. So you may use your third eye only if your glance has become totally purified, as if bathed in heavenly light. Think of your eyes as the headlights of a car. As you exhale, project these beams forward into the darkness, concentrating on the laser-like beam that descends through the crown center like a shaft of light. So in this meditation, take a few deep breaths. Sit with your back erect, back straight, and think of your eyes as the headlights of a car. As you exhale, project these beams forward into the darkness, concentrating on the laser-like beam that descends through the crown center like a shaft of light. The light of the third eye may be threaded through the beams of the physical eye. Now, as you inhale, turn your eyeballs upward. Concentrate upon a fountain of light rising toward the top of the head. As you hold your breath, you could try to enter into the consciousness of celestial beings and think that the planets and the stars that we perceive are the bodies of these beings. You could even choose one in particular, such as the sun of our solar system, piercing through its outer glory that manifests in sunrises and sunsets. Enter directly into the consciousness of the non-physical being of the sun. Then, stepping through the consciousness of this regal being, you ascend into the consciousness of even more cosmic beings, each one a fragment of the group which is hierarchically above them. Now slowly exhale once more, bringing all that light down through your glance and out through the third eye, knowing that your glance is like an extension of the light that sees, instead of the light that can be seen, the light of the hierarchies of pure luminous intelligences manifesting what the Sufis call the Nurul Anwar, the light of lights. Linking your glance with this light is a secret of looking into the souls of people. It is not Luciferian light, but heavenly and impersonal, what the Sufis call generous, loving light, unattained by selfishness. Unconditional love, which is inspired by divine love, does not brook either personal power or any other kind of resentment. Just pure giving light. Your sincerity will manifest through your glance and communicate to other beings.